Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we have a snowbound remote location, a killer blizzard, missing guests, an evil presence in the building, secrets from the past, and a whole lot more. The place is called Whitehall, and it was once a colonial-era sanatorium that treated tuberculosis patients with complete disregard for their well-being. Doctors performed lobotomies on unsuspecting patients, and the entire facility is soaked in blood and death. That all happened 70 years ago, and since then, the place has been abandoned until recently. This is going to be fun. Let's do this. What? No cell service? No internet? Nothing? You're kidding me. You're there stuck in a remote location with no way in or out? So let us just take a moment to consider how long it would really take us to get rescued if we were in this situation. Because realistically, once a storm like this hits, you might be waiting for days or even weeks for help to arrive. On his way back, he sees a woman in a white dress standing in the hallway. He calls out to her, but she disappears. Turns out the sanatorium used lobotomy as a form of treatment back in the day, and this is pretty relevant to the story. Just saying. They also find an old diary that belongs to one of the doctors who performed the lobotomies. Apparently he was obsessed with the occult and believed that the mountains were alive with ancient spirits. He kept a detailed journal of his experiments and his encounters with the paranormal. The entity is not just taking revenge on them, it's also using them to take revenge on those who came before them, the doctors and staff of the sanatorium. But as the sun rises over the snow-covered Himalayas, the mountain stands silent, its ancient secrets buried once again in the snow. The friends are caught in a deadly game of cat and mouse as they try to escape the clutches of the entity. Leave me a comment down below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe so you never miss an upload. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. But as the body count rises and the lines between good and evil become blurred, they are forced to confront not only the monster in the mountain, but also the monsters within themselves. When he returns to his room, he finds a dead bird on his pillow. Well, now that's just plain creepy. This place is seriously freaking me out. And if you don't have any supplies with you, you'd better hope that you're able to stay warm enough in the meantime. Accusations fly, and friendships are broken as each person becomes convinced that the others are responsible for the disappearances. The situation is made worse by the discovery of the diary, which suggests that the mountain itself is vengeful, and that those who disturb its slumber will be punished. It's easy to assume that someone will come to your rescue, but it's important to be prepared for the worst-case scenario. They also have to deal with the threat of their own making, the monster that they unleashed. As the story reaches its climax, they realize that the entity is not just malevolent, it's also intelligent, and it's playing with them. It knows their deepest, most guarded secrets, and uses them against them, turning their weaknesses into their greatest fears. Our story begins in the foothills of the snow-capped Himalayas, where a luxury resort of glass and steel is nestled amidst ancient mountains. They try to pry open the window, but it won't budge. There's no way out. The only option is to wait for the storm to pass. They make a fire in the common area to keep warm and decide to play charades to kill time. This reveals the secrets each person has been keeping. Vikram is having an affair. Kabir is impotent. Zara is frigid. And Aditi is still in love with Vikram. Also, we learn that Rajiv once inappropriately touched his wife's cousin. And to top it all off, they are being stalked by a mysterious figure dressed in white. Enter 5 estranged friends: Vikram, Kabir, Rajiv, Zara, and Aditi. They find some antique medical instruments left outside Anupam's room, and later find his wedding ring and phone in the fireplace. Although he left for his room to change for dinner and never came out. In fact, none of them have seen him since he arrived. They were all close during med school, but after a tragic incident involving a patient that they all botched, they went their separate ways. They are now convinced that they are not alone, and that something evil is in the building with them. The windows are boarded up from the outside, and their breaths are literally fogging up the glass. They are trapped. We learn through dialogue that Zara and Vikram slept together several times while in med school, and that Vikram and Kabir had a fistfight over a girl. His room is totally trashed, and his suitcase is still packed. There are no signs of struggle and no footprints in the fresh snow outside. They call reception, but nobody answers. And as the hours pass, the idyllic retreat quickly turns sinister. They find a key card lying around, and use it to access the locked floor where all of the bridal party rooms are located, only to find them all empty. The bride, groom, and all of the bridesmaids and groomsmen have vanished without a trace. We also learn that there are 3 couples and 1 bachelor, that everyone is married now, except for Aditi, and that she is the reason for the tragic incident that broke up the group, because she fell in love with one of their patients, which made him her accomplice in his escape and subsequent death. Everyone is in a bad mood and ready to leave, but a massive blizzard descends, trapping them completely. Now they have all received an invitation to attend their mutual friend Anupam's destination wedding to a woman named Meera, who will be joining them. The wedding is being planned by Anupam's sister Ashita. All of them arrive separately and are greeted warmly by her. Although it's clear she finds the reunion awkward, and is relieved when the bride and groom arrive so she can stop entertaining her brother. Souled flames. The first night is a blur of forced pleasantries and thinly veiled resentments. They all retire to their rooms, but in the morning, Anupam is nowhere to be found. To top it off, the power goes out and they are now snowed in with no way out. Zara tries to contact her husband, who is thankfully on his way over, but there's no signal. Now it's getting creepy. Things go from bad to worse when they start finding strange things around the property. As the story progresses, the body count rises and the paranoia grows. In the middle of the night, Vikram wakes up from a nightmare and creeps out of his room to grab a drink. The next day, they discover a secret passageway behind a bookshelf that leads to a hidden room filled with old medical equipment. As the story progresses, the diary's predictions begin to come true, and the characters start to realize that they are in grave danger. With no way to leave, and the blizzard raging outside, the friends are at each other's throats. But it's not just the external threats that they have to worry about. And here's the kicker. In the end, only one person will survive to tell the tale of the horrors that unfolded at Whitehall. So what do you think? Would you go to a destination wedding at a remote location in the middle of nowhere, especially if it was in the middle of winter?